the customer service. If you notice, if you go to a Toyota shop or garage, you will see that when they open, everything is in its place, like nothing untidy. Everything is in its place, because before they close the day before, they put everything in place so that when the customer comes and they start working, the technicians or the mechanics will start looking for a certain type of equipment. Every equipment is in its place. Let me do the exercise, and then we can conclude the conclusions or take some messages into our session today. I will share the screen. نرحب بالناس اللي انضموا لنا كمان. اخت فاطمه اهلا وسهلا. خلينا نسوي الاكسرسايز هذا مع بعض. انا عارف شوي الاكسرسايز هذا looks weird at the beginning, but honestly it's very good exercise with a very strong message.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمه الله.
كيف حالك يا استاذ؟
اهلا استاذ كواري. يا مرحبا.
يا مرحبا.
دخلت على الاكسرسايز مباشره. We'll start with the exercise. You can see on the screen the numbers, sporadic numbers on the desktop. Can anybody confirm that you can see numbers on the screen?
Yes, we can see.
Confirm.
Yeah, great.
Yes, it's clear.
If I give you 1 minute as a morning exercise, 1 minute to find numbers between 1 and 49, 1 and 49. But you have to find 1 before finding 2. Then you look for 3. And after you find 3, you'll look for 4. We'll see within 1 minute which the highest number you can find in this, let's say, untidy environment. Let's begin. 1 minute. I will say.
Between what? Which numbers?
Yes, 1 and 49.
1 and 49. Okay.
Now try to find 1. Good luck.
Yani we should get them in sequence,
Correct.
like 1 then 2. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We start counting.
I think the bottom is not very clear to us.
Really?
Okay, this way is okay. Okay.
Okay, great. Okay. Final countdown. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Which is the highest number you reached? Can I ask somebody to tell me what numbers did you find?
For me, I couldn't get the 1 and 2.
Still you were looking for 1. There is the 1.
I got 2, but I didn't get 1. But I got 2 and 3.
I don't know if this is small number below 54 is the 1.
Yes, this is the 1.
Yeah, then okay, I got the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5.
Anybody
6,
got 1?
6, 1.
Did you get the one before you look for the other numbers?
I got it from page 1.
Page
Top one side.
Okay.
It's the one. It's the one.
Yeah, there it is. The
But
one.
should we look for 1? I thought we're looking
It's
for
next. It's
between
next to
1 and
54.
49.
It's next to 54.
Between 1 and 59. I'm sorry, for 49. But in sequence, you have.
Yeah, but
one.
so we shouldn't look for 1, right? We should start from 2.
No, you should start from 1 actually. As if I'm working with you, I'm your manager, and I tell you, go bring me the file of this client, and your desktop is untidy, everything is over each other, and you start looking without any order, without any. After 1 hour, you came to my office and said, I can't find the file. Because everything is untidy. If you notice that there are numbers between 50 and 89, we don't need them. We don't need these numbers right now. It's as if we are talking about files of customers that we are not in daily use. So we have to put them aside. We have to clean our desk. This is the first S. We call it shine. Shine, you have to clean your desk from بالعربي بنسميها بالتاءات الخمسة, the 5 تاءات: ترتيب، تنظيم، تنسيق، تنميط، وتثبيت. بالإنجليزي, in English we say shine, set in order, standardize, sustain, and I forgot the fifth. I will come now to the fifth one.
Sort.
I'm sorry?
Sort.
I didn't get you.
The one of the S is sort, right?
Sort. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's sorting. But if we start with the shining our desk, look at the screen now. I will give you another 1 minute of this exercise in this morning to find the numbers between 1 and 49 in sequence, starting with 1. I think it will be easier because we clean our desk from unused files. Let's do it right now, 1 minute, and you will see the improvement in finding the numbers. Please look for number 1, then 2. It's in the same places, by the way, but I'll just clean the desk.
1 is next to 19.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. 2 is in the middle. 3 next to 21.
Oh, okay, you together. No
It's
problem.
more easy now, yeah, because we clean it.
Right? Much easier. You might read number like 20 or 25 if you are really comfortable with seeing these numbers without the distraction of the other numbers.
Exactly.
You know that in pharmacy, they use this system by making the drugs that they are selling, the medication they are selling in seasons. Like, for example, we have now the allergy season. They put the allergy drugs behind the pharmacist so he can pick that up quickly. And when the season finishes, the pharmacist will take these medication, put them back, and bring something that he can use daily, prescribed daily. So it is used all over. I mean, different companies. I just said that it's taken from Toyota, because Toyota is using this into improving the customer service. When you come to their shop, everything is in place. Tools that they are using frequently are really near them and accessible. But those who are not in daily use, they are putting on this in the stores. So it will not make them uncomfortable searching for their tools between all these piles. So the first message, if you already got this message, that if you clean your desk from unused files, you will get better into finding these files that you are looking for. It's not only files, it's, for example, it's emails. I confess that I'm not so tidy when you see my Outlook, but I put them really into categories and into files and into dates, so I can find for example, the training course that I conducted in 2019 for this organization, and I can even look for some documents in this file easy. Does it make our life easier, by the way? Does anybody has a comment on this first step of improving our workplace? Is it let's say, is it good to spend the time in getting everything tidy, shining our desktop and our email, Outlook, and even our desk, the real desk at our office? Is it really يعني شغله يعني محرزه انه نعمل شيء زي هيك، ولا مش مهمه؟ بدنا مشاركاتكم زي امبارح لو سمحتوا. اخت فاطمه، شو رايك بالتمرين هذا؟ اول واحد، هل فعلا بفيد؟ يعني انه مفيد انه نعمل شيء زي هيك، نرتب الديسك تبعنا؟ اخت ماضر.
ايوه يفيد، بس احيانا يكون في ويست حق التايم، بالذات اذا التركيز بيكون وايد على ترتيب مثلا الاوفيس ولا الديسك او الايميلز، لان هالاشياء مش ضروريه.
نعم، هذا one of the drawbacks that usually they critic this system, that sometimes you say that I'm spending time to make everything tidy, but احنا بنقول دائما every minute spent in planning spares 10 minutes in implementation when you implement the so يعني كل دقيقة بتستثمريها في التخطيط في الترتيب بتوفري 10 دقائق في التنفيذ. يعني for example, as if you are working making a cake at home and you're preparing all the ingredients before you start, and then you start. I know that it will take some time to prepare all the ingredients, but when you start, you will finish properly, easy, and you have no missing ingredient. For example, you start looking for a lost item or something like that. It's really a message that it's an investment of time. You have to invest daily. It's a routine daily. You have to do it every day. Prepare yourself in a way that you file everything in its place. So when you are asked to do something, you will find everything in its place. The second message, if you look at the screen, it turns into some sort of categorization. Like if we put them into files of years or alphabetical, أبجد هوس بالعربي, we can find our files easier if we can put them into categories. If I give you 1 minute, can you find the all numbers between 1 and 49? Let's try. I'll give you 1 minute. Try to find the numbers between 1 and 49. If you like, I can switch it like this. Maybe it will be better. Notice the sequence, that 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ustaz Salah, are you having a hard time finding numbers?
No, not really. I'm wearing my glasses.
Is it easier to categorize all these numbers into categories and put them in sequence, so that when it comes to your daily job, you can find everything in its place?
Yes, definitely. Especially now when we put them in cells, It helps you to focus on each cell and try to categorize that in the back of your mind or brain, which is which, like, you know, connecting dots here in that sense.
Right.
So it's definitely better when it's tied. Definitely. There's no doubt about this. Yeah.
So it pays off that we spend some time archiving our everything that we do on daily basis, archiving them in a way that you can easily find them, work on them, put them back in its place, so next time you can find it easier, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
But if we do, we'll take another further step into put them every one in its own cell. Like, for example, if you see on the screen, every number is in its cell. Do you need much time to find any number you're looking for?
You shouldn't.
Yeah, it's very easy. You can look for, you can do the searching in a blink of an eye, finding everything. And if something missing, like if we go back to the first screen, look for two missing numbers. I took two numbers out of the numbers between 1 and 49. Can you find the missing two numbers? I bet you can't, or you can maybe spend one hour finding lost numbers. But if I put them in these cells, can you guess the lost two numbers?
Yeah, there is 18 is missing.
18 is missing.
Yeah,
42.
42 as well.
50.
Yes. See, the Kaizen system, the Japanese system of continual improvement, Kaizen, improves also decrease the waste, and it even decrease the we can sometimes decrease the stealing if there is something that we might find some missing items due to stealing or due to let's say expired dates or something, like we need to do it like in a system called FIFO, first in, first out. If we are dealing with something with an expired date, we can find those who are really need to be used first before they get expired. If we categorize them, we will decrease the loss and will decrease the waste. So this system, it helps us in different type of companies, service companies, goods, FMCGs, whatever you even, I told you in pharmacy, the pharmacists that implement this in their pharmacies, it helped them serve their customer faster because they will find the medication quickly when they dispense the medication. And you bring the prescription, they look for medication, they bring it to the front desk, they give you the medication, and you leave the store. If the pharmacist is not putting them into categories, some pharmacy, by the way, they put them alphabetical. So when you come with a drug like amoxicillin, for example, they go for A, the first row, then M, they will find it quickly. And they also reduce their waste of expiration. They will reduce their waste of even sometimes in a rare incidents, somebody may steal from the pharmacy. They will figure out this the lost items quickly before the issue will become bigger and bigger. So the 5S, who can summarize the 5S for us? Even the 5 تاءات بالعربي، التاءات الخمسة إذا لاحظتوا. Who said sorting, by the way? Who answered the sorting? It seems that he's familiar with the
Me, Warren.
Warren. Can you summarize the 5S for us? What did we do right now in English? We
Sort. Initially shined, sort, set in order.
Set in order, right? Standardize.
Standardize and sustain.
Sustain. What do we mean by sustain?
It means you always keep it in order. You maintain. It's like maintaining it, everything in order.
Right. It's a kind of putting the anchor. I mean, يعني تثبيت زي بترمي المرساة, as if you're making this a way of life. It's not just once in a month job. No, it's daily. If you notice in Toyota again, because we took this from Toyota, they use the tool, they put it back when they finish, so that when his colleague wants this tool, he goes and find it in the same place without looking all over the place. Even in safety, you know, it's a safety issue not to leave something on the ground or something. So really, it's a very good system. They improve the customer service into reducing the time, the waiting time, the serving time, and even the customer satisfaction get improved. By the way, McDonald's did that. If you notice McDonald's, if you go into the drive-through of McDonald's, some of the branches in some countries, they promise the customer that if you wait in the drive-through for more than 1 minute, you can take the meal free. See this challenge? 1 minute. Some customers really want to wait more than 1 minute to get it free, but their system is really fast that it goes into let's say steps that, or kind of setting something in order, that when you go to the window, when you have to get your meal delivered, it will be ready. Just driving from the window you pay to the window you get your meal delivered, it will be handled to you immediately, less than 1 minute. See how this system really improves customer service. It really gives a big advantage to those companies who are applying such a system. Do you agree, by the way, that this system will improve customer service? What do you
Yes,
think?
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the Japanese school of let's say daily practice. A fail to prepare is a prepare to fail. For example, a fail to plan is a plan to fail. So plan it well, invest some time. As Mr. Mador said, sometimes it's a tedious job to prepare everything in its place, but it will pay off. يعني استثمار للوقت يعني راح يرجع علينا بفائدة, because we will get back يعني the time that we invested حتى much more. يعني every minute we invest into planning spares 10 minutes in implementation when you implement the job. Even let's mention this thing in the Mother's Day today, that some mothers make their children tie their beds before they leave to school, and when they come, they are asked to put everything in its place, like their bags and their books, and if they use something in the kitchen, the mother will ask the child, put it back. When you use this item, put it back, so that when your brother or your sister needs it, he or she will find it in its place. So even this system is applied at home by some mothers to make everything tidy. On the other hand, you find some houses that really it's untidy, everything is missing. Where is the remote control? Where is my slippers? Where is the bottle of milk? See, it's a mess, and you might lose money. I mean, some time looking for missing items. I don't know if this example relate to you, but it's really a very good implementation in our social life. Even the one who is really tidy and looks for organization, organizing everything, even in his social life, is really organized. Okay, I wish that you enjoyed this exercise. It's just a brain teaser in the morning to facilitate our subject today. We were talking yesterday about the elements of a good service and how to cope with any complaint from customers. I'll share the screen now with a very important module taken from Service Excellent book, talking about a supplement and enhancing and facilitating elements of service. Let's see. Please confirm if you can see a flower on your screen. Anybody confirm that?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Flower of service.
Service flower, right. The service flower, by the way, if you can notice that 4 of them are in let's say blue, and 4 are in green. Those are the supplement of the service. It's not the core service. I mean, if you can define your service, the core. What by the way, what is the core element of your service? Can anybody tell me what kind of service, in a few words, what is the core service that you provide to your customer?
Fiber connectivity.
Connectivity, yeah.
Yeah.
Connectivity, maybe fast connectivity, reliable connectivity.
Security.
Security even. Okay. These are the core things, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, fast, speed.
Okay, these are the, we can discuss
Benefits or the
benefits. Yeah, we'll talk about the benefits, by the way. It's good that you are talking benefits, not features. As we said yesterday, there are some employees, service employees that use their features to communicate with the customers, as if you're telling me it's like 4 gigabyte something, or it's gigahertz or something like technical. I'm not into technical. As a customer, I look for benefits. So talk benefits, not features. I remember training a pharmaceutical company. The pharmacist to talk to customers in medical terms, like as if this drug is lipophilic. What does it mean, lipophilic? It doesn't make any sense to the customer. But when you say it is faster acting, it's safer, it is more effective, it is cost effective, then the customer will understand. It's good that you're talking benefits, not features. But again, if you say your core service is connectivity, then we have, if you look at the flower, we have some supplement. 4 of them are facilitating the core service, and 4 are enhancing the core of the service. It is not really the service, but these are elements that enhance or facilitate there. Let's take the first one, the information. Giving information to customers will improve your service. Do you agree? Do you agree that giving some information, like install the device, how to do something, if something happened, default happened or something like that. Giving information, relevant information, will improve your service.
Of course.
You agree, Mr. Salah?
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
Can you give me an example that some more information you're giving your customers?
Yeah, well, related to our services, if we give clear information about the termination of the link or the connectivity, they will be able to connect their devices to it directly, like, because it's a bit ambiguous for some customers because they don't know actually the details of the link. How is it terminated on their side? Okay. They think that this is a link and that's it. They don't look at the details and devil in the details actually. Mm-hmm. They need to know details, how to connect to it and how to utilize it.
So I took this word from you that giving information will reduce ambiguity. So
yes, absolutely
we'll
right.
Have a trial and error at the end of the customer trying to fix something because you didn't give him relevant information about that. So giving information will facilitate will facilitate your core service. That's why it's in. If you notice the blue color, and the key is the blue color are the facilitating elements. So information reduces the ambiguity and facilitate your service, that it make it easier, user friendly, for example.
Right.
Yeah, if you remember back in the days when Apple used to compete with Microsoft, they used to say that Apple is not as friendly as Microsoft. So people tend to see that Apple is like just for graphic designing or something really complex that I am as a user cannot even comprehend. But when they made it more easier, the customer, their market share is becoming more and more into the market. Steve Jobs did a great job actually into making it very easy for us, introducing the mouse when he took it from Xerox and introducing the iPod. I know that iPod, they killed iPod right now because it is terminated. But when they invented the iPod, finding music, listening to any kind of music on a device like this with a capacity of maybe 10,000 songs, it made our life really, transformed our life actually. So right. Giving information is really a key into facilitating your service. The second element, let's talk another element in facilitating, is the payment and billing, by the way. Payment and billing. I will tell you some examples from other industries, and you might tell me from your industries how this is applicable to you. Some companies, they make it hard for the customer to subscribe to their services because their payment terms are really hard to comply with. Like, for example, one of the shops, they say you have to pay cash only, or we don't take credit cards, and you can't pay online. You have to come in person. So the payment make it really hard for the customer to subscribe to their services, while others make it easier. Like, for example, I trained non-for-profit organization. They are collecting donations. So when you are collecting donations from people, you should make it easier for them to pay their donation. Don't make it hard. I'll try to donate for you, for your organization. Don't make it hard. So what they made is really amazing. You can open your laptop, your any bank account you have, even if you have points from airlines, points from reward points from hotels, because they can accept anything. Just drag and drop. Like you have, even in little amounts, in cents, you can drag and drop. So they make it easy. Even if you put your card into their ATM machine, the message can tell you, do you want to donate to this organization? You can put any amount you want. Even you can put points. I mean, like royalty club points. I mean, those that we can take from hotels, from airlines, from shopping. They can accept anything. Easy, one step. While others, non-for-profit organization looking for donations, sometimes made our life hard. In order to donate, you should go there, to their offices, wait in lines, and sometimes they ask for you to do some steps before you donate. You can figure out that those are not really successful into promoting their services. Can I ask you, in your company, how you make the payment step easier for the customers? Al-Kuwari, by the way, today you didn't give us your views. أعطينا هيك أفكارك على الموضوع هذا. شو رأيك بالنسبة لتسهيل الفوترة، يعني الفواتير البيمنت على الزبون حتى تخليه يحب السيرفيس تبعتك، يعني ما تعقد حياته.
Well, I think the commercial should apply to this answer. I think this is not applicable to our contract. لأنه ترى إحنا our main customer are the ministry, like the Ministry of Interior, like MOI, like يعني كلهم أماكن يعني هيك بالداخلية وهيك، فما أتوقع it applies. ما بعرف إذا
actually we have some corporate customers.
No.
Actually we can make it easy first of all by asking them what do they prefer, how they will prefer to get their invoice, monthly, yearly, quarterly.
All right.
Email invoice or scanned invoice or hand by hand invoice. So we can take the customer point of view or what he think it's more easy for him.
Mm-hmm. So you lay out options for the customers, how you
yes,
and even big
exactly
institutions, you may offer them like IBAN and they do the transfer.
Exactly, so they can swift it directly to the bank account.
Yeah,
we can provide.
Excellent. أنا thank you, Mr. Arif and Ms. Ghaida, that sometimes it's not all these elements applicable at your company, but sometimes you can think in a way that make it really even effortless. It's not even taking any time because the subscription is renewal automatically and everything is done in one step or even in one second. Nothing needed from the customer to do to get our subscription. Billing is another issue. If you notice that we as a customers, when we go to some let's say companies that we are where you used to go to, we notice that billing is really a mysterious thing. They put items that you cannot understand, and sometimes they are unethical because it's like hidden fees going into some items that you did not even communicate to the customer, and you bill them for them. For example, I once went to a restaurant, and when I asked for the check, I said, check please. They bring that the bill, and the bill was including something that I did not allow them to do. Like they put a donation for a cancer center before us, without asking me. I talked to the hostess at this restaurant, and I asked her, why did you add this? She said, okay, you don't want to donate, no problem, we can take it off. I told her it's not a matter of I want to donate or not, it's a matter of you have to ask me before that. I might donate more than just one JD, Jordanian dinner, but you should ask. So billing should be clear. items should be clear, nothing hidden, no hidden fees. This will enhance, facilitate, sorry, your service. Nothing hidden from the customer. Billing is so obvious, and even the customer anticipate the numbers without getting any bad news. What do you think about billing? Is it an essential element into facilitating your service? Is it applicable at your company or not that much? What do you think, Ms. Ghaida? Is it applicable at your company, that making billing more obvious, more clear, easier, a soft copy sent to their emails, or maybe hard copy delivered to their offices? Is it really a facilitating element, or not applicable at your company?
I think, but I'm not really sure. As I told you, this is more for the
Yeah.
commercial. But I think we are flexible. Yani we deal with every customer,
Yeah.
like on his own. Yani if he wants to deliver it, if he wants it by email, if you like, we are flexible in general.
Great. Yeah, when you're dealing with VIP or elite customer or major customer, you know that sometimes departments get together. I remember when we used to deal with the VIP customers, we have one of our accountants working with their accountant directly. It's like we have a joint venture into the accounting things. We're working together very close in an automatic way that even we don't think this anymore. It's not an issue. So billing is really is a facilitating element when it comes to improving our service. Let's go for the final one, the order taking. How they order or they subscribe to your again, if it's you make it easier for them, less tedious, less documentation asked for them their side, without breaking the law, by the way. I remember training a bank. They told me that sometimes when they try to take a loan from our bank, we ask for some papers, official papers, to be delivered before that. And customers get annoyed from this. But these are laws. We cannot break it. So I told them, you shouldn't break the law. You might break the rule, but not the law. Rules can be broken exceptionally, but laws, if by law, you should, before they subscribe to your services, needs a security certificate from the government. We have to ask for it. No, we can do no exception for that. So make it easier into getting your service to the customer without breaking the law. You have to keep asking for the mandatory things before that. If you notice that we have also 4 elements that we call enhancing. Enhancing, it is not really the core service, but it enhances. The first one, like, for example, is the safekeeping. The safekeeping, it meant a different thing to different services. Like, for example, when I go to the gym, it's a service provider. I noticed they put lockers for me to put my stuff, so that when I go to the gym, play, then I get my, when I go to the bank, for example, my safekeeping is my car. They have like a valet or a parking. In your company, maybe the safekeeping is the security of their information. Can anybody tell me at QNBN how you deal with the customer information as what we call the top confidential? You cannot share them with others. How you guarantee that to the customers? Anybody has a direct contact into this issue? Somebody said security. Yeah, Mr. Salah.
Yeah, in our contracts, we actually guarantee to our customers that we will keep confidentiality this is a commitment from the company towards each one of those customers that signs with us contracts.
Oh, you don't sell their information to third party or something like
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Confidentiality agreement that is safekeeping their information, and you guarantee that you will not share this information with anybody. Excellent.
Absolutely, yes.
I think this is يعني threshold. I mean, this is يعني taken for granted. You cannot do that. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the hospitality? I know that you don't have like shops or like offices that anybody can pass by. But again, what kind of hospitality do you use to improve your service? Hospitality, do you give like gifts on certain occasions? Do you hospitality actually includes many different items. If they come to your office, like giving tamar, coffee, valet parking for free internet while they're waiting, or something like that. Do you have anything that goes under hospitality when it comes to your customer? What kind of hospitality do you offer your customer if it's applicable to your company?
It's not about hospitality. Maybe we can give them some, let's say, advantages, like a trial agreement, let's say, to practice our fibers or our network.
Complimentary
Yes.
sampling, like you can open it for like 1 month free.
For example.
It's a kind of free 1 month subscription, for example, that you give to the customer so they can see your service, then they will decide to subscribe or not. We call them sampling, by the way. It's like going to a gym for 1 month free, or going to some companies tell me that we don't have samples because, like, for example, they are selling cars. How can we give a small car as a sample? I tell them, no, you can give them one free ride. I mean, give them the key and let them drive the car, and they will practice what you are talking about. So maybe this will help them take the decision, or they will make them easier to take the decision into subscribing to your services. What about exceptions? Do you have exceptions? Exceptions mean breaking rules, not law. Exceptionally, you just give sometimes as an exception to the rule for some customers. Do you have exceptions in your services?
Yes, we do, especially for when customer is requesting, they need to connect a VIP customer of their own. So they email us asking an urgent connection, if it's possible within the day. So we do some special exceptions.
Okay.
This type of situations.
It's like make the connection or to connect it faster. But we have regulator. We are stick to the CRA regulator. So there is no exceptions. I mean, we can, as I said, give like free trial agreement, and we can support them in the connection. It's called PIP. That's mean maybe Mr. Salah in pre-sales and sales, he can explain it more. Because we have step-by-step agreement and steps to follow up for each connection. So we can make the connection, and later on we can finalize the paper and the documents.
Okay.
To make it faster, because this procedures, sometimes it will take a couple of weeks or months sometimes to prepare the agreement and the SFA and the pricing and the, you know, so sometimes we can jump and go to the connections, and later on we can finalize the paper and the document.
Okay.
But about prices and services, we are stick to CRA regulation.
Okay, great point, Mr. Arif. You differentiate between two things. Exceptions is not about breaking the regulations of the government or the telecommunication industry. You cannot break those, no exception to those regulations. But when it comes to some internal processes like getting them connected while you do the process of subscription, maybe this is an exception you can do. So that it's no problem giving an exception to that, but never to do an exception when it comes to regulations, right? Am I right?
Yes, you are absolutely right. Following the rules is different than you know, giving exceptions in terms of processes and you know, satisfying the customer, if I may say. Like sometimes we stretch our ability in designing. Sometimes we stretch our ability in delivering faster than usual. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we expedite the paperwork, you know, on behalf of the process. But all that needs to be exception, as the name implies. So whenever you do an exception, you get a guarantee from the customer that you know, Mr. Customer, you will follow the actual process later on when we do the exception for you this time. Right. So it's setting up expectations with the customers. Each case is a different case actually, and with experience and, you know, knowledge of the technology, you can actually serve your customer better.
Excellent point, Yani. You stress on the point that exception is not always taking for granted. This is an exception. You should go back and follow the steps when it comes, because sometimes people take the exception as if it's a normal thing that they ask, even right, they consider their right. I remember some institutions, they do exceptions, like, for example, they deliver their product that they are selling to the customer in some incidents that they have to do the delivery door to door, but usually they don't do that. So exceptionally, but the customer will not, in the future, will not ask for this exception, because it's, as the name implies, it's an exception. Sometimes they do it in certain circumstances, and while the normal way, we go back to the steps that we have to follow. Excellent. And the last thing, the consultation. I feel that our customer service people should be consultants, not just selling our services. They should be a consultant. Consultants mean that they would ask you what is better for them. It's not the other way. It's not like you're pushing your service to convince them that they should deal with your company. No, it's like they go to you and they ask you, what do you think the speed we should subscribe to? What do you think the capacity? What do you think the storage that we need at our company? What kind of devices we should use? So you become a consultant to them, not just a sales or a customer service provider. So consultation is really a very high level. Usually customer service staff reach this step after some years of dealing with customers honestly, and they build trust. So you become my consultant. I usually look for this step when I'm dealing in training, that at some level, some of the attendees comes to me and tell me, what do you think I should, what kind of course should I attend? do you think that if I take this course, is it beneficial to my job, or should I take something else? So I should give them a sincere advice. So I will come in a shape of a consultant to them, not always a sales that is pushing the. This is the concept of the flower of service introduced by Professor Lovelock, that every organization should look for these as facilitating and enhancing element. If it's applicable, you go for it. If it's not, it's not actually always applicable to all organizations. Now I will introduce you to another famous speaker service. He's really the guru of service. I will put a video if you I have to bring the video to the PowerPoint. If you allow me just 1 minute to bring this video back. It is about something called the 6 levels of customer service. Has anybody heard about this concept? You might see it on the screen until I bring the video. These are the steps of the 6 steps that our speaker will talk about. Is anybody familiar with this kind of concept, the 6th level of customer service? Because I will ask you, what do you think, QNBN, at which level are you delivering your service? What is the perception of people about your service? At what step? Actually, if you reach the highest step, it will be outstanding. If you stay on the first step, it's actually, as the name implies, it's a criminal. We'll see those different steps. Anybody familiar with this? No? Okay, no problem with that. I will introduce the concept, then we go for discussing how we can implement it into our just bear with me. I'm gonna put the video on screen. Can you hear the voice? It's a short video, yeah? Okay.
There is no voice. Voice is not clear.
No voice?
No.
No voice, just your voice.
Really?
Your voice is enough.
Can you see the screen? He's talking about delivery of services.
No
Yes.
audio.
No audio. I have to share the. No problem with that. I'll talk in his behalf. He's talking about 6 levels of. I put this video, by the way, with the material. You're gonna get the material delivered to you. I put this video and the link of this video and much more videos from Ron Kaufman. He's talking about the 6th level of customer service. The customer service steps of serving the customer, it begins with some we call the criminal. Criminal, it's against even sometimes the law that you deprive the customer from their rights. Like, for example, you downgrade the benefits or deprive me from the benefits that I should take when I subscribe to your service. We called it criminal. But after that, we can reach a step of basic, as if you are delivering something basic, no complementary things. It's just the basic. Well, let's say you just connect people to your service, and that's it. Nothing surprising me with your service. If you exceed my expectations with the basic, you reach the level of the expected. I expect that you deliver the service within 7 days, and you did that. You satisfy this step of expectations. Much more than that, customers will look for the desire. It is more than just expected. It is the desire. Between the expected and the desire, these limits, you should position your service between the expected and the desire, because below the expected, customer will complain. Between expected and desire, they will be satisfied. But if you exceed the desire, you will get into the surprising. It's a wow moment. If you draw your customer journey, you will see some pain points that the customer will complain about, and there are some touch points that the customer will be surprised. Like, for example, your step of getting a contract with the customers, when it comes to the paperwork, it is really a pain touch point. They will say that it's really tedious. You ask for many documentation, it took time. So they will complain about the long time you took until you finish the contract. Surprising, such as exceptions that you deliver. Sometimes you deliver exceptions to these customers. They will be surprised by the quality of service that you have delivered. Unbelievable, it's a very, very high level of customer service. Unbelievable. Sometimes we get those unbelievable moments written on the reviews, that you did something really unbelievable. I have many examples of this in some companies. They deliver really unbelievable customer service. People really get loyal to this customer because they deliver the unbelievable level of customer service. Now, what do you think? According to this cascade, what do you think? What level QNBN is delivering its services? Honestly, what do you think? Is it basic because you are the one and only in the market, or is it expected? What do you think? Let's vote on that. Let me ask each of you, Mr. Arif, what do you think the level of service that?
Actually, for QNBN, we can separate it for two different levels, because we have our customer service in QNBN, but when it comes for implementation, there is third party who makes the implementation.
Third party.
So yes, the road opening and this stuff, it's done by a third party, not by our team.
Mm-hmm.
So if any delay, if any problem happen, it's not 100% related to QNBN employee. Sometimes it's not in our hand for any delay or any ticket or any cable issues or cutting. So from our departments or for QNBN employee, we are doing our best. But sometimes, as I said, it's not in our hand for any delay or problems, or while implementation, it's not done by our employee.
But remember, we talked about this yesterday. Sometimes at the level of the customer, I don't care about having third party or not. The only thing I care about that QNBN
Yes, exactly. I'm talking about QNBN point of view, not about customer point of view. I'm talking about our employee, about our management, not about customer view. Because customer, he doesn't deal with, let's say, with a third party. He deal with the QNBN.
Right.
But I'm talking about our idea, as QNBN employee.
Right. Do you think that the touch points that is related to the third party, that those are working in the streets, preparing the infrastructure, do you have control on the third party? Can you manage their the complaints, and you send them the complaints so that they can fix it? Do you have a
yes, sure. It's actually the technical department.
They have connection with them.
Yes, sure. They have connection with the third party about the implementation and the PIP and this stuff. But it's related to the technical department more than the commercial department. Because as a commercial team, okay, we look for the agreement, for the pricing, for closing the deal, for customer service, but technically it's not in our hand as a commercial commercial department, technically, and implementation and stuff. It's not in our hand, and even it's not in our technical team. But technical team, it's let's say the connection between, let's say, commercial and the third party, and I think it's clear for you, man.
Yeah. Thank you for this issue. But so if you can put a score, or according to this ladder, you're part of job. How can you put that on the ladder? Is it expected, desired? How you can scale your service? Honestly,
you can go between desired. It will be, I think it will be fair.
It's at the level of the desire.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any competitor that has maybe a higher perception? They have better service. You don't have competitor, right?
We don't have competitor, Mr. But maybe one of our problems we are facing, we are a passive dark fiber. We provide dark fiber passive connection. We don't provide. We are not a service provider. We just, let's say, we connect point A to point B by a cable. That's it.
Right.
So the client need to put his active equipment on this cable to activate it. So we have advantage and we have disadvantage. So to be honest and clear, we are just connecting point A to point B by a dark fiber cable, by a dead cable, let's say, and the customer need to control and maintain the activation of this cable using his equipment.
Okay. And how
we cannot provide the service for him.
The
regulation, we don't have this license.
Yeah, it's clear. Yesterday you mentioned that the end user is a different issue, but again, how can you assess the job of the third party according to this scale?
This is technical. Maybe as a commercial, I cannot judge them, but we are facing the delay in the implementation. We are facing it. Let's say some project, it will take around 5-6 months and more. So then the customer will come to the commercial team and ask about the delay. He will not go to anyone else because the customer is dealing with the commercial team directly. He's not dealing with let's say the third party or the technical.
Excellent. So if the job is finished within 5 months, it is expected to finish by 5 months. It is actually the expected things. But if you finish that by by 3 months, it's really above the expectations. if the delay overcomes the expected, then sometimes we'll get like kind of basic or even criminal that people are affected by the delay of your third party. So sometimes we can assess the service as a criminal because the customer will be affected by the delay of the company's services. Excellent. Mr. Warren, what do you think your job at QNBN according to the scale? At what level do you put your service, the job you're doing at QNBN, at what level do you think?
Do you mean overall or just my part of the job?
Yeah, overall.
Overall, I think we're doing a high expected.
Huh? You reach a point of let's say desired thing over expectation.
Yeah, we're moving to the desired, but we're still on the expected range, but almost there, desired.
Yeah, excellent.
That's what I feel.
Okay. By the way, we should ask the customers. We can do some sort of surveys. We'll show that maybe tomorrow how we can do a small survey, even sometimes one question to test the net promoting score by asking, for example, by the end of our dealing with the customer, do you promote our customers, our service to other customers from 0 to 10, and or as you have said yesterday, from 0 to 4? If they give us more than 8 or more than 3, according to the 4 scale, it will be really a good indicator that those customers are really happy with our customer and we reach something above expectations. But we have to ask the customer actually. Mr. Salah, what do you think about your kind of services? Honestly, how you can put it on the scale from criminal to unbelievable?
If I would scale it, like after delivering the service and the customer started using it, let go all the hassle of deployment or whatever, I think we would be unbelievable. Yeah, because we really get the wow from the customer afterwards when they start using our services in several occasions. That's what I saw myself. I don't supervise the surveys, but this is what I see from the market, that people, they really wow our service after start using it. However, during the deployment, if we set the expectations right with the customer and say that this will take 6 months or 1 year or 3 years, whatever, to deliver, then the customer will be okay. He's expected to be delayed, and he agreed on that from the beginning.
Right.
There are incidents that you might get delayed, delivering your promised services, but those are really rare in our case, because we put some contingency on delivering the project when we plan it. So again, we set the expectation right from the beginning, so we keep our customers satisfied all along the process until we deliver the service.
Excellent point. Thank you for demonstrating a very important point in psychology. Actually, when you tell the customer something and he expects like for 6 months he will get all the services, and you surprise him with 5 months, then you really have a wow moment or above expectation service. But if you promise them something you cannot even deliver, as we said yesterday, then they will be disappointed anyhow. I remember one of the shops. He was fixing clocks and watches. He told me that whenever a customer comes, if I need like 15 minutes to fix it, I will tell him, do you have something in the mall like for 2 hours so I can fix this watch for you? He will say, okay, I'll come back by 2 hours. He will tell him it will be ready. No problem, it will be ready. Make sure that everything will be ready for you. He fixed it, the watch, put it aside, and the customer comes and see that everything is there. He is happy, he will give it to them. He will pay for them. If you say, no, I will fix it immediately, the customer will start looking at you, do it now. And any kind of delay, he will be dissatisfied. So the message here that as a contingent plan, even asking yourself what might go wrong. Take a convenient span when you promise the customer how long your service will be finished, so that the expectations will come really below that. So if you promise them 6 months and you finish with 5 months, they will be happy. But if you promise them within 1 month and you give the service in 3 months, even not 5 months, 3 months, they will be dissatisfied. It's a kind of really psychology of consumer behavior or customer behavior. They think that you should promise and keep your promises. If you really make it less than that, they will be happy. So again, as you have mentioned, we have wow moments and we have pain moments in our customer journey. We can draw it actually. You can put the customer journey from the time you approach the customer till you sign the contract with them, and you will see the touch points. Where are the pain that the customer is facing, and what are the wow moments that we can build on and even improve and more, because after some time the wow moment becomes desired, or sometimes become even basic. I remember the speed of the internet when we used to talk about like the first generation of internet connection. We were happy by downloading something in like 2 hours. But now with the fiber, we can do it instantly in a way that really is very fast. But now the expectations of the customer is really, they raise the bar. So what is wow now, it will become basic. Do you agree about that? Customer expectations is getting higher and higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when it comes to bandwidth and internet speed and things like that. So people, they get used to the good, and then if you don't improve, then it will become basic in life. The thing is that our business model makes a good stretch for the future, that because we provide dark fiber and the customer set the bandwidth that he wants. If that bandwidth, if the customer chooses to put 1 gig bandwidth today, he can upgrade that to 10 gig next year or next month or whatever, by just changing his both active devices from both ends of the connection. So it's up to them to upgrade it whenever they want. So the infrastructure is ready. It's like you're building a highway or a bridge over a river, that it's always ready to host a small car or a big truck. Okay. It's something like that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So you have plans for future expansions, or if the customer wishes to upgrade, you have also the ability to upgrade the service according to the customer. Excellent.
Yeah.
We have to take the views of other participants, but if we if you would like to break for half an hour, it's now like yesterday, it's 10:25. We'll break until 11 if you wish, and we'll get back, discuss another model of customer service and how can we implement it at our company QNBN. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's very fine.
Thank you very much. We'll get back at 11 a.m.
Inshallah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being on time.
مرحبا مرحبا. Welcome.
إذا الكل معانا بس هيك على الشات لو حط لنا أي إشارة أو أي شيء يدل إنه رجع حتى نبلش بالسيشن تبعتنا لو سمحتوا.
موجود أنا عارف هلا.
سهلا.
موجودين يا أستاذ.
أهلا أستاذ كواري. ترى أستاذ كواري أنا هلا بحكي معاك من شفا بدران.
سلم على أهل شفا
الله
بدران
يسلمك.
كلهم.
يعني أصلا اللي حوالي معظمهم لأنه في جامعات حوالينا معظمهم طلاب يعني من الخليج العربي يعني فالمنطقة كلها حوالينا منطقة طلاب.
إلا التطبيقية قريبة منك الجامعة.
التطبيقية هي نبدأ أتفرج من الشباك من المكتب هي موجود الملعب تبع التطبيقية يعني أمامي تماما.
أنت عجل جاري يمكن يا أستاذ.
شايف؟
وأنا ما أدري.
أنا إذا بتعرف المنطقة اللي هي بتروح
الحين شفت أول ما تجي أنت عند تطبيقية تكون على يمينك.
أيوة أنا هناك عند قريب
الشارع اللي أول ما ينزل تدخل يسار في الحارة اللي على اليسار.
إيه هذا اللي يكون ساكن بالعمارة نفسها.
عند الدكان في دكانه فيها العدواني، الشاب العدواني.
هم اراضي العدوان هون مضبوط في هيك، بس هي
بالضبط. هذه في دكانه هنا على اليمين، انا ورا الدكان، عندي عماره هناك ورا الدكان.
انا والله في كثير من الاخوان حتى خصوصا من الكويت موجودين بالمبنى القبالي بدرسوا دكتوراه بجامعه العلوم الاسلاميه،
ايوه ما شاء الله.
حتى قاعد بساعدهم ببعض امور بتتعلق برساله الدكتوراه اللي بيقدموها. فحتى الجامعه الاردنيه، جامعه علوم تطبيقيه، العلوم الاسلاميه كلها حوالينا، يعني جامعه اميره سميه، فكلها منطقه طلاب الجامعات.
منطقة علم ما شاء الله شباب بدران.
الله يخليك، اذا اجيت على عمان بتشرفنا بالزياره ونلتقي ان شاء الله.
اكيد اكيد اكيد. ما يعني تشرف فيك يا دكتور يا استاذ. شكرا شكرا.
اكسلنت. الاخت فاطمه معنا، غيداء.
لا مرحبا موجودة.
اهلا مرحبا.
موجودين.
صلاح.
اي موجود حبيبي. موجود.
اهلا وسهلا.
يا اهلا فيك.
Okay. Last but not least, Warren, are you with us?
Yes.
Yes, great. Okay, welcome back. As usual, we're gonna do some, let's say, case study, discuss it before we go back to our material. Let me take your views on this kind of brain teaser example, and we'll take a message out of this thing. My case today is about the evolution in marketing and how we can think about major companies that they went out of business because they've been disconnected from their customers. Like, for example, the famous example is Nokia. Yani, what is your views as Philip Kotler, the father of marketing, present in his Marketing 3.0 book, talking about, if you see the slide, do you see anything strange in this slide? Anyone can comment on the slide? Something different than usual or something strange about this logos, these logos?
All logos now are changed or updated.
What the first thing that you get your
Apple.
Apple.
So
Nike.
They made fun of the logos.
Yeah, they made fun of the logos, but actually it's reality. You know, some brands, I used to know Kodak, for example, for years and years. يعني جيلنا تربى على Kodak. Where is Kodak right now?
No, gone.
Gone. No more Kodak.
Gone.
Huh?
Dead.
What about Nokia? It's
dead.
Their slogan was connecting people. Now it's disconnecting. Yeah. What do you think the main cause that made Nokia went out of business or almost out of business?
I don't think it is related to customer service. I think it's related to more to creativity and technology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this is not, yani, customers demand something, smartphones, and Nokia did not deliver that.
Exactly, it's something technical and creative.
Mm-hmm. But do
They
you think
became
that
complacent?
Right. But do you think that the technology is serving the customers? Customers is demanding, or they did not know the smartphones at that time, but when somebody else did, like Samsung or Apple introduced the smartphones, I think Nokia did a criminal thing that deprived the customer from having touch phones and forcing them into the old fashion of clicking on clips. What do you think, Mr. Salah, for example, على issue زي Nokia? What do you think their fault? Why they went out of business?
It's obvious from time to time the technology changes and you have to keep up with it. If you don't keep up with the technology trends, you will be out of the market. And basically, this is what happened to Nokia and Ericsson phones before. and a lot of other examples as well.
Right. Sony Ericsson used to be my favorite company when they started their cell phones, but not anymore. Yeah,
not anymore. And before that, they used to be Ericsson. When in year 2000, in year 2000, Ericsson sold it out to Sony Ericsson, or they strike a deal with them to add more colors to the phone. Because you know, Sony is the picture specialist, and they took that part to add their patents on Ericsson phones to make it more, you know, modern and keeping up with Nokia at that time. But it's technology as well. It's technology that can hit any company if you don't keep up with it. And you can just find yourself out of the market because you don't keep up with technology.
If you notice, Sony on this slide is sorry because it's
exactly.
became sorry. What about Chrysler? I mean, Chrysler, as Sony Ericsson did joint venture together, Chrysler get joined with the Daimler-Benz, and they call it Daimler-Chrysler. For a few months or a few years, then they separated back because Daimler were really affected. Mercedes were really affected by the bad reputation of dealing with the crisis. So in this slide, the crisis instead of calling them Chrysler, it's a Chrysler. So anybody has a comment on this issue? Why Chrysler went from a successful company, luxury cars, into a car that we sometimes describe as a continuous crisis, and not listening to customers' complaints about their defaults? It's like Renault. Renault, if you see down, Renault is default, as if it's a default, as if it's having some issues in their engines, and that's why their market share get attrition reduced in the market. LG, what about LG? What is the original slogan of LG?
It's life is good.
Life is good. And in this slide is life is tough.
It's not anymore.
Time for them. Although they are surviving actually, but it's not like their sister companies in Korea, like Samsung, for example. Samsung used to imitate Sony, used to imitate other Japanese companies, but at that time Koreans were trying to imitate successful Japanese companies. But now Samsung is much better even than Sony in terms of screens. And
Samsung is the best example of how to go with the technology and go with the wave.
Right. But do you agree that all these needs comes from the customers? I mean, customers, those who will make their company successful or not, in terms of, are you inventing a technology that we need, that we like to use, like inventing something like, for example, what Apple did with their smartphones, easy to be used when Steve Jobs in 2007, in his famous launching of the user-friendly screens, people are really instantly the stock market went up because the invention were accepted by the customer. While sometimes companies invent something that it's not that, it doesn't matter for the customer to use it or not. Like, for example, if you see the screen, what about مثلا Yahoo? Yahoo were before Google, and at what time, and in one time they were to buy Google, but again Yahoo were sold to Google in a cheap price because they did not cope with the industry. Maybe Xerox, if you see Xerox, Xerox was the icon of yeah. Yes, what's your comment, sir? You have any comments? What about Ford? It's here it's fail because sometimes Ford, although the electric car of Ford are getting good market share, they cope with the new era of electric cars. But again, Ford even in the United States, lately we're out of the top 10 list. The top 10 list in the United States, it starts with, again, Toyota sitting on the top of the list, followed by Hyundai. Hyundai made a good move. Korean companies are really doing a great job. The South Korean companies, they're making a great job into the market, satisfying customers with a good brand, good price, good quality. So they're getting an excellent market share. 3M, maybe they lost their favorable position into customers' mind. They were really innovative company. You know 3M? Anybody familiar with the 3M companies inventing solutions? Right. 3M were the icon of the innovation. It came with simple solution to customers. I remember they came up with a very simple product that really was admired by customers. They invented the Scotch tape. They invented the Post-it. You know Post-it, sticky notes. Sticky notes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sticky notes. Also, they invent something you put on your nose to open your airways so you can breathe easier. Very simple things, but it's really a big innovation. But the last 10 years, any kind of invention comes from 3M. They are gone. I mean, I don't know what happened to them. Best Buy became pleased by. It's like pushing sales. Best Buy were the icon of anything when you want to buy a present, you go to Best Buy. Now they try to push promotions and asking, please come to our. There are some other icons that disappeared, like as I said, Kodak, Fujifilm. Some of the MyTag. You remember MyTag? MyTag is a electric company and appliances company. They were known that their appliances do not break down even after years and years of usage. Now they have like almost zero market share. Nobody remember Whirlpool and MyTag. The message from this is that you have to not always to be good. QNBN should be good in customer service, but it's not enough to be good. You have to be
and improve.
Yes, continuously good. You have to improve always. People are raising the bar. People are, as we said yesterday, they have no loyalty anymore. If somebody else offers something better than you, they will leave you. So the disruptive technology is the old one is not anymore. We have to deal with the new ones. In your industry, everything become digital right now. Mobile technology, not anymore wired. Online retail, no more about store retailing. Even classroom education, we go for distant education. Many universities are giving their certificate on distant learning basis. Even surgeries, the surgeries in hospitals, now they become outpatient clinic in terms of you can consult a center outside your country and they will oversee the operation from the center outside, maybe in the United States or somewhere else, without having to go there. So everything is changing. Change is the is the name of the game, as they say. Do you agree about that? Everybody agrees that change is here to stay, is the
Yes,
only
of course.
constant.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the only constant thing. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we should focus on change management topic, but it's a different topic. But again, it's, we have to change. Either we change or we. Can you continue the sentence? We have to change or we.
Or we get changed.
I get changed, yes, or we perish. Even at our level as employees, we have to keep improving our skills. Otherwise, maybe we'll be obsolete after if we stay the same. It's like Nokia having 70% market share. Now, if anybody has a Nokia, he's a weird guy, right? I remember everybody has Nokia, but now if you see somebody with a Nokia cell phone and say, "Oh, he's weird. Why he's using a Nokia?" I just want to emphasize on this issue as just.
في ناس يقولون old is gold يا أستاذ جميل.
Yeah, old is gold, right? Yeah, sometimes, but the new generation will not understand that. Will not understand that. They have hard time understanding my generation when I explained that to my son, that one day we used to call our friends on a landline, asking, like, for example, to talk to somebody, بترن عليهم بتلاقي الشخص هذا مش موجود, so they go back and say he's not here. So when he comes, he will call you back, you're gone. So maybe you'll try to call somebody 10 times until you have to meet him or to plan something. So if you explain this to the new generation, they will say, what the hell, يعني إنه كيف كان الوضع تبعكم إنه different word. Actually, it's after 96, everything changed. After the internet, after the digital or the new, let's say, new era of digitalization. So let's go back to our material. I wish I can again share the video. I made some adjustment to the voice or the. Please confirm if you can hear the. Speaker's voice.
Hello, this is Ron Kaufman on service excellence in the speaker bureau.
Can you hear it now?
Yes,
I'm a good person to talk about this topic because I'm a speaker.
And listen
I'm
to
also
it.
author of the New York Times best-selling book, Uplifting Service, the proven path to delighting your customers, colleagues, and everyone else you meet. I'm also the founder of a global service consult. Hello, this is Ron Kaufman on service excellence in the speaker bureau industry. I'm a good person to talk about this topic because I talk about it a lot as a professional, business-oriented keynote speaker. I'm also author of the New York Times best-selling book, Uplifting Service, the proven path to delighting your customers, colleagues, and everyone else you meet. I'm also the founder of a global service consulting and education company called Up Your Service. We help clients in a whole range of industries all over the world compete with service culture as a sustainable advantage. Now, all of my life, I have been committed to uplifting the spirit and practice of service worldwide. So, what is service? Now, if you ask a lot of people this seemingly straightforward question, you're actually going to hear a lot of different answers. Some people will say it's making people happy or making them smile. Some will say it's giving people what they need. Others will say, no, give them what they want. Some will say it's meeting expectations or exceeding expectations, or treat the customer as if they are a king, or hey, the customer is always right, which you and I know is not true. And then you'll get people who say, oh, you should be serving other people the way you would like to be served, which assumes that everybody else on the planet is like you. Well, that's not the case. So let's form a more effective and better definition. What is service? Here's the first part. Service is taking action. You have to do something in order to be called serving somebody. What's the purpose of the action? To create an outcome a result or a situation that someone else will want, need, hope for, appreciate, benefit from, pay money for, something that someone else will value. So the definition of service is taking action to create value for someone else. Now, as an agent in the speaker bureau industry, let's pause for a moment and think, who is your someone else? On the client side, it could be a meeting planner, or somebody who runs marketing, or human resources, or communications, whoever it is that has been tasked with putting together that next convention, or conference, or meeting, or town hall, and has the responsibility of making sure that the keynote speaker is outstanding. And then there's the selection committee inside the client organization that's going to review all of your recommendations and the ultimate decision maker. But there's also the entire audience, every single participant who actually is present for the keynote speech. And that's just on the client side. On the speaker side, you're also taking action to create value for professional keynote speakers like myself, or the support team and assistants that I work with, or my speaker representative. And then even inside your bureau, there's other people that you coordinate with, assistants, support team, finance. And as you get closer to the event, there's even the audio visual team and the venue or conference facility team that you need to coordinate with. So as an agent in the speaker bureau industry, how many someone else's do you serve? Now, if this is service, taking action to create value for someone else, the next question we should ask is, how good or bad is the service you provide? Because this is a talk about service excellence in the industry. Well, the way you talk about what you do for someone else could be very different than the way they talk about the experience they have being served by you. What language do they use? I've created a principle called the 6 levels of service.
Hey, هدول 6 steps or levels.
If you don't do what you promised, if you violate legitimate minimum expectations, that's unacceptable. It's terrible. It gives the whole industry a bad name. And so I call it criminal. 1 step above criminal is the bare minimum. I call it basic. So this is when you do something, but it's late, or it's incomplete, or they contact your office and someone was impolite. Now, eventually, the person who's being served gets what they need, but the experience was not very good. I call that basic. 1 step above that is normal. It's average, expected. If you do what you're supposed to do, you keep the promises that you made, you hit the service level agreement, you use the established procedures within your organization, that's just normal. Now notice, please, that expected is in the lower half of the 6 levels of service. In the past, we used to say that a satisfied customer would be a loyal customer. And the way you produce customer satisfaction is to meet customer expectations. But that's become obsolete because we know today that a satisfied customer is not necessarily a loyal customer. With all of the competition and globalization and commoditization going on in various industries, we need to step up and deliver service at a higher level. So above expected is when you serve someone just the way they like it. I call it desired. Desired means serving someone the way they appreciate, the way they prefer. And as just a small example, you know, as a speaker bureau agent, that some of the clients you work with appreciate a phone call, but others say, no, don't bother me with a call, send me an email. And not all clients are the same. When you understand the way someone else likes to be served and you take that action, now you're serving at the level called desired. 1 step above desire is when you do something unexpected and they like it. So it's like getting a little gift and they say, ooh, what a nice surprise. Serving someone at the surprising level provides them an experience of value that they did not anticipate to receive. And it's a very high point on the 6 levels of service, but it's not the highest. At the very top is astonishing. It's extraordinary. It's incredible. The word I use up here is unbelievable. Now you can tell I'm enthusiastic about this. And when I teach this for large audiences, I have a way of getting them enthusiastic too. We put a little bit of motion and movement and tone into the expression, and the whole audience does things like this: criminal, basic, expected, desired, surprising, unbelievable. And yes, I have had accountants and lawyers and technologists doing this in large audiences all over the world and loving it and remembering it. So, where is excellence on the 6 levels of service? Excellence is not one of the words, but this is a talk about service excellence in the speaker bureau industry. So where is excellence? And you'll find that different people have different opinions, or maybe it depends on the situation, or maybe you're just not sure. Well, there's another complexity associated with these 6 levels, and it is that the levels themselves are not fixed. These are not stairs. This is an escalator. It's in motion. It's always moving, and it's always going down. And why do I say that? Well, let's think about it. If you do something unbelievable for someone, it will be unbelievable the first time you do it. If you do it again, whoo, nice surprise. Keep doing it. People say, oh, that's what I like. If you carry on doing that again and again, it becomes expected and then basic. And then one day, if you don't do it, criminal. Now, this is happening in every industry all over the world. Let me give you some examples. When this first came out, it was unbelievable that you could have a phone call without a wire. Today, basic. It used to be that the amount of information you had depended upon how many books you could put your fingers on the bookshelf. Today, it's just a matter of putting your fingers on a keyboard, on a device, or even just speaking to your phone. Even on something as fundamental as delivering physical packages, the world is changing, and the whole methodology and the system and the stairs are slipping down. On something as powerful and fundamental for all of us as the exchange of money, cash has become credit card. Credit card will evaporate to fingerprint, and before you know it, the amount of money you have or transfer to someone else will occur in the blink of an eye. So, if the stairs are always slipping down, where is excellence on the 6 levels of service? Well, it should be obvious. Excellence has become a moving target. If those stairs keep slipping down, the only way for you to be excellent is to take the next step up. And that's what excellence really means. Excellence is not here or there or there. Excellence is the taking of the next step from wherever you are to the next level. And we know that service is taking action to create value for someone else. So, what is service excellence? Put the 2 definitions together. Service excellence is taking the next step up to create more value for somebody else. Now, I've written 14 books on service, business, and inspiration. And in all of that text, I think this is the most important sentence that I've ever authored. And it's the most powerful first key principle that I put across in the keynote speeches. And it applies to every industry, to every level within the organization, and in every culture all over the world. And you know who understands that? Senior decision makers. Because service excellence is taking the next step up to create more value. Well, a service excellence culture is when every single person at work puts this to work every single day. That's what the CEO is concerned about. That's what a successful organization in the future absolutely needs. And for you, as an agent in the speaker bureau industry, you should be asking yourself too, what is the next step up that I can take to create more value for someone else that I serve? On the client side, on the event side, on the bureau side, or on the speaker side? Now, one thing I can do to create more value for you is invite you to visit my website at ronkaufman.com/bureau. You'll find a wide range of materials there that are all bureau friendly so that you can easily share them with your clients. You'll find a lot of videos there as well of some of the keynotes that I've given for other client organizations all over the world.
I hope this video illustrates the concept of the 7 or 6 levels of service. What do you think about it? Let me ask, start again with Mr. Arif. What do you think about this video, Mr. Arif? What message do you take out of this video?
Actually, sorry, but the voice was not clear for me as much as I can understand the whole session, but he was talking about the optimism maybe of the customer service, as I heard, and about the tone.
Right. Actually, what I said before the break were taken from his speech. He invented this model of 6 steps. So he was mentioning that criminal is not acceptable because customers are demanding more and more. And what is believable right now, unbelievable right now, it's like going down. Sometimes the customer will demand something, take it for granted as expected or as basic. And if you deprive him from this, it will become criminal. And it's moving faster. That's what he said at the end of his talk. Was it clear to you, Mr. Salah, what Ron Kaufman said about this model?
Yes, it is exactly summarizing what you described in the last 2 days, 2 lectures. I think I can summarize further what he was trying to say in 2 points. The first one is you need to wow your customer, and how do you do that is by adding value to whatever service you are providing, because what you do today might be a surprise for the customer, but tomorrow it might be a trend or a basic thing. So by improving the work, as Thani mentioned, by improving the work, improving your values, you will stay in the market and keep on wowing your customer. And this is how you go from a step to another, is by adding value, because excellence is something that the customer pays money for. Sometimes you do a service that the customer can do it himself. It's like IT management, for example. Any bank has IT staff and they can do their own management by themselves, but they want a specialized company who can add value to their business and get the excellence on top of whatever IT solution, and for them, leave them to focus on their excellence and provide banking service to their clients. So it's like, adding value on all steps up with the customer wherever you deliver a service. That's basically it.
Thank you very much for the summary, and you rephrase the concept in a way, make it simple for us to comprehend. Yeah, it's a moving target. We have to keep going up, and the escalator is going down because it become more of a norm. You mentioned, you name it, standard, something that's expected. So we have to move up and keep running even. One speaker puts it like, if you keep running on a treadmill, you just keep standing in the same place, but you're trying to save your place. So if you want to move forward, you have to run faster even. Yes, excellent. Mr. Warren, what do you think about the video that we have showed? What do you think about it?
I think it's very clear that any company should not be complacent on what they provide, what service they provide. They should continuously seek for improvement and better processes to provide better value to the service that they provide to customers. So it's like you said, it's moving targets. So you have to move with the pace with which the customer needs.
Okay, great. Thank you. Who else
But
wants?
Mr.
Yes.
As I said, we are stick to the regulation and to the we can do this process internally.
Yeah, and
but about services, it's
yeah. Yeah, Mr. Arif, you keep saying about the irrigation. You are absolutely 100% right. Once I have the same feedback from a company, they told me in the healthcare providing services, they told me if I want to make the customers happy, I can give them drugs. They will be happy and we'll make profit. So, but
exactly the customer need to know actually with who he is dealing, or what service he's asking, or he is requiring, or is requesting, or what we can offer for him.
Right. But according to regulations, these are the threshold. I mean, nobody will break the law for the sake of making customers happy. But there are some places we can excel, make it better, easier, more affordable, more convenient, user-friendly for the customers. These are the domains that we can excel as a customer service provider, but not in the way that will break any laws or the regulations that the government or the industry puts on us. That's really clear from this side. Any input from Ms. Fatmir? Any input on this issue? Anything to add to your colleagues?
No, nothing.
Yeah, almost we cover all the concepts, and we maybe repeat them again and again just to emphasize how important these are all over different industries, not only in telecom industry. It's anybody who's doing service. Even if I manage a restaurant, I have to do this to keep surprising customers with increasing my service as a moving target to reach the better level. So there is no place for the excellence. It's a moving target, and we have to move with this target. So we have to move with the moving targets. Excellent. Anybody wants to add anything also for this model before moving to another model of customer service? These are really contemporary models. Yani these are applied in best companies all over the world. It's not really any a new invention. This is what they are doing at different companies, and any company which does not believe in these concepts are really prone to be out of business, because again, customers are paying our salaries, customers are driving the cash in flow, so we need to keep up with this. I will give you the material. These are taken from the slides of Mr. Ron Kaufman during one of his speeches that I have attended in person, actually. Okay, great. I'm sharing the screen. Oh, okay, can you see the escalator on the screen just to make sure that we are on the same page? Escalator, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. These are the slides of the. Let's move to a concept of how to measure the level that we are. As Mr. Kaufman said, that if in order to measure, it's not what you think you are at what level. You should ask the customers to scale your level of service. So one of the best metrics of customer service is the loyalty metric, very well known. It's called NPS, Net Promoter Score. Are you familiar? Anybody familiar with this concept or scale? Even if you have an experience giving any feedback when you went to a restaurant or hotel or airline on a trip, do you usually give feedback or just skip the scale? Anybody has an experience even outside your company? I mean, lately?
Yes, I've usually given feedback if a service is very good or very poor.
You tend to give when you're happy, or do you just complain when you're not happy or not satisfied, Mr. Warren?
Both.
Both, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both. Do you have a wow moment with a service provider recently that you give them really good feedback? Can you give us an example if you have this?
Not recently.
Not recently. Yeah, and you give them from 0 to 10, how much did you give them?
I gave them the latest one, maybe it was an 8.
8 is a very good score, actually. But again, the net promoting score, they said that it's 7 and 8 is the average expected by the industry. So if you are satisfied that this is good, but we call them passives. Passives, you will not even promote them to your family or colleagues. But if you exceed 8, like 9 and 10, there is a question that can measure that. Just one question: if you are asked about our service, do you recommend it to your friend or colleague? How likely are you to recommend our company to a friend or colleague? If people say certainly will, definitely will, which is around 9 and 10, these are the promoters. If they said, I don't know, it's like 5, who will neither nor. If they said definitely not, definitely will not, those are like 0 or 10 or 1 or 2 angry customers. If let's say we gathered like 100 or 1,000 responders surveys, and we find that, for example, the percentage of the promoters are 20%, and the detractors are like 30%. We subtract the percentage of the promoters from the percentage of the detractors. We end up with a net promoting score. Many scores are in negative, by the way. But if you exceed 0 and come in the positive, it's good, but more is better. So suppose, for example, you have 80% of your responders are promoters and detractors are only 10%. So 8 minus 1 equals 7. 7 is very, very high score. I'll show you the average of the industry. I see, I have a slide here that will tell you that cell phone service, for example, and networking, it's about, if you see here, the net promoting score benchmark of 38 for such an industry. It's a very high score, because if you see the percentage, you get 80% minus 10% it's 70. But if you want to reach that 38, the average of your industry, you have to be above the detractors by 38 points. 38 points. يعني لو if you go back to the model, if we got 1,000 responders, 80% were promoters and detractors were 10%. So 80 minus 10, it is 70. 70, you are above the average of your industry. Your industry is 38. You know, some industries, the average is in minus. People are really not easy to be satisfied. Very demanding industry, like the internet service. If you see in the slide, I got this report from 2018. The average for the internet service is -1. So even if you're zero, your score is 0, you are above the average of the industry. يعني هذه يمكن it's a good point that if the industry has a lower score, anything that you do will be surprising to the customers, like even if it's 0. But again, if your industrial average is like 70 or 30, for example, as is the case, you have to do something more than that to improve your promoters over the detractors. I know that people tend to complain more than giving compliments. And when you're happy, you sometimes do not give feedback. While when you're angry, you sometimes do complaint. The percentage of people complaining are much more. So it's really a challenge. I'm sorry. It's really a challenge to get promoters talk and evaluate, while detractors are the majority in many cases. So this promoting factor, do you have such a scale at your company? Did you measure it? Or I mean, it's not you, but did you hear that your company did a survey and you get the net promoting score? Any data about this you can share? Ms. Ghaida, do you have something at your HR department, indicators of net promoter score?
Well, I don't have an idea.
Actually, we have a survey for each closed order. Mm-hmm. We send a survey for the customer. As I said yesterday, it's from 0 till 4. Mm-hmm. And the average is between 3.5 and 3. 3.5.
3.5, yani 35. It's the average of the industry.
Over 4. Over
the phone?
I mean, it's 3.5 over 4.
Over 4. So it's like 80%.
It's like 85%.
Okay. It's like getting بالجامعة in the university 3.5. 4. It's very good score, right? Right. But this is the net promoting score is a different scoring system that measures how the customers talk about you. Do they talk ill about you, about your services? Do they promote your services to others, or they just are passive? Yani neither they will promote it nor they will say something bad about you. Detractors will not be satisfied. So we have a challenge to have promoters more than detractors in order to have our net promoting score in positive. Great. So whatever your scoring is, we have to do something to surprise our customers, as Ron Kaufman said. There is another model called Cano Model, very famous one. It is really taught in all MBA programs all over the world. The Cano program. Cano is a model, again, from the Japanese culture. The Japanese culture say that there is something, if you see the arrow that appears on the screen, there are some factors in this model. They call it the more is better. Yani, for example, the speed of the internet more is really better. So if you get it more and more, it will be better. I subscribe a fiber with a company called Orange in Jordan. They promised me a certain speed limit, but when I measure it, it was really under what they promised me. So they began to tell me some excuses, what happened, and some sort of kaza. I was dissatisfied. But these factors, if you bring them, I mean, if you deliver them more is better, less is less. So if you notice that the arrow is going from 0 up in a uplifting scale. There are some factors that you must do. If you notice the arrow, it's like a curve. If it is this, if it's not there, people will be dissatisfied. Do you see the word here, dissatisfaction? But if you do them, they will not be delighted. It's normal. They will be neutral, as if you go to a restaurant and they lead you to a table with chairs and plates. These are mandatory things. If it's not there, you will be so dissatisfied. But if they are available, you'll be just okay. You'll not be satisfied, I mean, over satisfaction or something surprising, because it is the threshold, it is the minimum. So according to Cano model, you have to tell me in your industry, what are things that really you have to provide the customer, and when you provide them to the customers, they will be just okay. But if you deprive them from this, they will be so angry, so dissatisfied, so unhappy. Can anybody help me with an example? Something that you have to deliver them to the customers, and when you do, they are okay. If you do not, your service is really down. Do you have something or example on the second arrow down here? Must be, according to Cano model. Like when you begin your service, what is something that taking for granted that they must be there to have your service operation going okay? You have an example of that in your industry or your company?
The whole link has to be there, actually, end to end. That's the expectation.
Yeah. If anything missing, they will be dissatisfied, right?
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
But if you provide them, they will not say, wow, thank you very much for providing such a service. This is mandatory. This is the threshold. Yeah,
exactly. Yes. What will surprise them is actually the reliability and the efficiency of the link. It's not the link itself. So the link itself is expected, actually. But then when they when they start using it, they will realize that this is something out of the world, out of their expectation.
I will talk about these delightful factors that you're talking about. But again, Mr. Salah, you're talking about something that customers expect, and if they are getting these, they are okay, because this is the basic things. If you deprive them from this, they will be dissatisfied. One of you mentioned the confidentiality. Something must be. If you say, you know what, in our company QNBN, we provide something really amazing. We do guarantee that your information is secure. I mean, this will not make me happy. I mean, actually, because this is mandatory. But if you broke the confidence, I mean, and you declare my information and sell it to other third party, I'll be really angry. So this is something that if it is available, I'm okay, expected and okay. But if you do not do it, I'll be really dissatisfied. But if you see on the screen, there is the third arrow according to Cano Model. It's actually the opposite of the last one, the must be. It is the delightful exciters. If you did not provide them to the customers, they will not ask about it, and they are not even expecting them. It's like it's يعني مش موجودة بالcontract. It's not even part of the contract. But if you do provide them, they will be very satisfied. Very satisfied. So these are the يمكن if we relate to the other the Ron Kaufman model, these are the delightful, surprising, outstanding factors. People do not expect them, but if you do, they will be satisfied. It's actually the opposite of the must be. So if you want to apply this model to your company, you have to put your services on this diagram, and you mention what factors you should do as basic things. يعني must do, must be. وزي ما مكتوب هون, as it's written here, it's less satisfied when the product or service is less functional, but cannot increase satisfaction if you uplift them, because it's mandatory. It's there. Yani if you keep telling me your information is secured, your information is in a good hand, that's okay. But yani this is I expect that from you. It will not make me more happy. It just make me neutral. But if you yani did something wrong with the information, that will be really a bad thing. For example, giving me an offer. You give me an offer, I'll be okay with it. Okay, we'll sign the agreement. This is expected. But if I see that you give somebody else better offer on the same terms, I'll be dissatisfied. The other arrow in the you should put the factors in your company that if you do better, if you do faster, if you do in a different way, it will increase satisfaction. The most obvious example is the speed. More speed, I'll be more happy. Or maybe space, or the storage space, for example. If you're providing something like need storage, you give me 1 tera, that okay, that is great. 2 tera, I'll be more happy. 3 tera, I mean, more is better. If you do downgrading, I'll be less satisfied, or sometimes I reach the dissatisfaction. This is the arrow in the middle. So what about the third one? The third one, you should put all the factors, all the services elements that you provide to customer to surprise them. And if you do not do them, they will not be dissatisfied. I mean, they are okay because it's an extra thing. It's an exception. It is something add on. زي ما مكتوب هون, if the requirement is absent, it does not cause dissatisfaction. It does not, but it will delight customers or clients if present. يعني options معينة, but you give them, they will be really surprised and happy, delightful. And I don't know if it's clear, the Cano model to you, or somebody can help me يعني illustrate this model maybe in a way that is applicable to your company. Can we apply it to your company? Today we did not take the feedback from Ms. Isra. Isra, are you with us? مستر ماضر.
هلا السلام عليكم.
اهلا فيكي. يعني شو رايك بالموديل هذا، انه يعني حتى على الصعيد الشخصي، يعني في اشياء لما يقدمها المقدم الخدمه اكثر بكون افضل، يعني بتحسي انه يعني بفاجئك شيء افضل وافضل، بس في اشياء اذا مش موجوده راح تزعل كثير انه مش موجوده، مش مقدم لك، بس اذا قدمها شيء طبيعي وشيء اكيد. يعني زي مثلا انتو you get connectivity, you said that you're delivering connectivity to customers. If I get connected, that is okay. That is okay. That's what I expected. But if the connectivity is fast, it will be better, right? Faster.
أكيد right.
Yeah. Faster is better. More is better. But what about something delightful? Customers do not expect that QNBN deliver, but you surprise customers with something يعني extra. Do you have an example of that? Do you have an example, something that QNBN go to extra mile, extra step to delight the customer?
أنا للأمانة ما عندي enough background عشان يعني أفيد في هالموضوع.
لا يعني إذا بتسمع مثلا أنا مرة صار في يعني I was disconnected from a company that I have an internet connection. They told me, okay, we'll send our technical high مع إنه out يعني كان الورنتي خالص, but they offer me a new device. They replaced the new device with no charges. I was really happy because it is not something expected. I expect them to ask me to pay something, but when they do that, they are really giving me a wow moment. But you cannot, انت ما بتقدري تيجي تقولي لي والله احنا في عندنا ميزه كثير كبيره بشركتنا بنخليك على اتصال. طبعا this is the core, this is the basic, هذا الشيء الاكيد. فبنوزع احنا we distribute our service elements on this model. We should have must be elements. We should have things that more is better. We should have exciters also that is delightful for the customers to be surprised with. This is the Cano model. If you check the Wikipedia, I put Cano model, you'll see who invented this model. He's a Japanese guy, so that when they implement it, they get more and more satisfaction. By the way, satisfaction is a psychology term. The psychology, now we will get into the psychology of the customers. It's an interesting session right now. We're gonna think as customers. We'll see how customer thinks of satisfaction. What does it mean, satisfaction? There is a famous model called Maslow model, according to Abraham Maslow, one of the psychologists, very famous psychologist called Abraham Maslow. So the hierarchy of needs, قائمة الاحتياجات, is named after him, Abraham Maslow. What Abraham Maslow said, that everybody, consumer or client or customer, these are people. They have physiological need and they have safety needs. For example, security is a safety need. Physiology, water, food, getting rest, these are the basic. But Abraham Maslow said that safety comes after physiology. You cannot ask somebody to look after security or safety if they are deprived from food. If I'm in the desert and I have no water to drink and I found dirty water, I will not think about the safety of the water, that it's safe or not. I will drink it because I need physiology. After that, people start looking for belonging and love. By the way, you are working on this level because a connection, connecting with people is something extra than just safety. It's connecting with people, having relationships, a friend, doing your business, getting connected. Esteem Now you think about esteem. Esteem is a level when you think it's not just a car. It is Porsche. It is Lamborghini. It's a fancy car. When you go to a restaurant, you give the valet your car. It's not just a car that brings you from home to your office. No, it's an esteem, prestige. And on the top is the self-actualization. بسموها بالعربي تحقيق الذات. يعني something that is really very يعني luxury, but it's not the basic things. It's something complementary. It's like having Rolex. Rolex is not to know the time. Rolex is to show off. See, we have to apply this to your industry. Customers in your industry look at the hierarchy of needs like this. I don't know if you agree, but physiological need, and I try to put يعني customer هرم ماسلو على نطبقه على digital world اللي انتوا يعني part of it. Physiological need is to have a Wi-Fi, is to have a computer, is to have a cell phone, is to have يعني battery connection. يعني these are the basics. Above this, to have secure email. When I pay online, I have to secure my credit card information. I have to get my email. زي مثلا هلا جوجل صار يعملوا verification, two-step verification عشان يتأكدوا إنه nobody يعني هاي. وإذا أنت دخلت على جوجل على إيميلك ببعث لك إيميل تاني أو للسيلفون تبعك بقول لك في واحد جديد، هل أنت هذا الجهاز دخلت عليه أو هل أنت عملت sign in from this country or not.
تنبيه أمني يعطيك.
ناحية أمنية security هي safety right. يعني إحنا طبقنا هرم ماسلو على الديجيتال وورد. إذا بدنا نقول على البيلونجينج واللوف زي ما حكى هنري ماسلو، الناس بيقول هنري ماسلو أو عفوا إبراهام ماسلو he said that after securing physiology and safety they look for belonging. طب بالdigital world what does belonging and love means? Facebook, Skype was really a very good invention. يعني لما واحد صار
اصلا هي حتى هذه استاذ جميل الابلكيشنز هذه هي صارت يعني تقدم خدمات يعني we get from these applications services اكثر من ما هي entertainment يعني.
Right. هلا Skype is not just entertainment. Skype is not just entertainment. Skype يعني انت if you are
لا هو بالاخص يعني I mean الانستغرام، تويتر، سناب شات يعني هي عملت على ان اساس هي entertainment. بس الحين هي اصلا هي يعني it's already business يعني services.
Right.
فصارت هي اكثر الحين يعني تقدم الخدمات والمنتجات اكثر مما هي انترتينمنت يعني. حتى الفكره تغيرت تماما.
هذا التغيير بتفكير الكاستمر يعني، او حتى البرودكت انوفيشن. يعني واتساب I used to use it يعني to connect with my family, but now it's a business account with WhatsApp. I put all my courses on WhatsApp. People get to know me through WhatsApp. It's like LinkedIn, for example. But LinkedIn, maybe because it is it's concerning our job and our career, you have to look at it as if you are self-actualization need. You have a YouTube channel, Pinterest, but Skype and WhatsApp, they get you into connecting with your family, friends, loved ones. Self-esteem, sometimes we think about having Snapchat. I know in some countries Snapchat is replacing Facebook. You know, in Jordan, Facebook is the most used يعني platform. Maybe in Qatar, I think Twitter, yes, Twitter and Snapchat is much used يعني. not used.
التويتر والانستغرام هي ما used عندنا يعني.
Right.
يعني already اي شركه خلاص يعني متعارف عليه لابد انها هي تفتح يعني انستغرام اكونت.
Right.
يعني كي تعرض عليها منتجاتها. فهو الانستغرام اصبح يعني مضرب نجاح او يعني للشركه نفسها. اذا كان الحساب اكتف مور اكتف فهو يحقق ارباح اكثر من ما الدعايات المعتاده. حتى الادفرتايز صارت اصلا عبر الانستغرام الحين.
Right. انت بتعرف يعني do you know that يعني بالكامبين of President Obama Twitter was a key issue. Then after Donald Trump came
حتى خروج دونالد ترامب كان عبر التويتر اصلا.
Right. See قد ايه استخدم المنصه هاي even on Twitter. So
هي الدول طاحت بسبب تويتر يا استاذ. الحين المظاهرات الاشياء كلها تصير عن طريق التويتر. يعني التخطيط كله عن طريق تويتر. فصارت هي امنيه خدماتيه تسويقيه اكثر ما هي انترتينمنت. هي صممت على اساس انها هي انترتينمنت ترفيه. صار استخدام يعني اختلفت الاستخدامات كلها يعني الابلكيشنز كلها.
I agree with you. شوف هاي الصورة أنا ماخذها من النت يعني بس if I want to rearrange them I will put as you have said يمكن some of these applications in the safety and security or sometimes in the mandatory thing you cannot do business without having مثلا Instagram or an account or something like WhatsApp account, business account. So it's becoming like the physiological need, basic needs.
Yeah. يعني هو اصلا الكاستمر سيرفيسز الحين صارت يعني 80% from these applications.
Right.
اي حد يسال مثلا انت رحت الحين شركه بتسال عن منتج معين بيردوا لك على يقول لك ارجو زياره صفحتنا في الانستغرام بتعرف more details you will know about our products and our account.
100% يعني انت هيك ربطت الموضوع يعني you refer us to the modules before that يعني الفاكتورز هاي it's not just يعني شيء يعني بتخلي الكاستمر excited انه واو you have an Instagram account that this is amazing. No, this is basic. You must have. You must be. And if I know that your company has an account on Instagram, it's not just doesn't make me feeling really amazed by your company. It's mandatory. If you do not have, if you see this Cano model, if you do not have an account on Instagram, or if I check the QNBN on LinkedIn and I did not see your account on LinkedIn, I will be dissatisfied. By the way, I will be shocked. How come a company as big as QNBN does not have an account on LinkedIn? So you are telling us that these became basic needs for any organization, any people, that you should have an account, a business account on LinkedIn or WhatsApp or something like getting customers' complaints and customers' feedback on Instagram, putting your advertising on Instagram or something like that.
هو صار ربط يا أستاذ، هو صار ربط للنجاح. يعني you cannot succeed without Instagram account.
Right.
حتى الحين يعني إذا أنت ما عندك Instagram account للبزنس بتاعك مثلا، إذا أنا دخلت أبي أدور عن الكمباني اللي حضرتك أنت مثلا تديرها وما شفت لها أكاونت في الانستغرام، تمسح ثقة. يعني حاليا تمسح الثقة، خاصة ما يعني I cannot go with this company. They don't have Instagram account. لهالدرجة صارت يعني.
Right. يمكن
أنا ما بالغ جد يعني، لكن إحنا أنا عندي يعني I manage my own business, so I know what Instagram means.
Yeah. يعني أنا لو أنت بتقول لي عن البزنس تبعك و I found that you have no Instagram, I said فين عايشين يعني هالشركة اللي ما عندهم؟
إيه ما عندها انستغرام يعني ما يعني لدرجه ان يعني اكبر دليل في انا البزنس اللي عندي رياضي، فانا ادير لي الحين تورنمنت و I get some sponsors for the tournament. One of these sponsors, they don't have Instagram account.
Wow. See,
يعني حتى اني خلاص وقفت التعامل معاها، ما عندها انستغرام، ليش انا ابيه؟
يعني صار بيسك هلا، يعني لازم ننزل انستغرام from the top of the pyramid to the basic ones. It's like having a Wi-Fi. It's like having a computer. It's like having, or I was really shocked. يعني كمان زيك. I once dealt with a institution, governmental institution. I was shocked that they still working on paper, like documenting everything, archiving on paper. يعني تخيل بدك تجيب ملف, you have to look for paperwork to pay somebody to bring your file and look from the piles. They يعني still don't have computers. يعني كانت بتقول انه عايشين باي عالم هدول، انه still ما في عندهم يعني
ما عندهم كمبيوتر. yes it's true. يعني هو الحين حاليا 90% from your business
right.
You will manage with يعني with Instagrams and Snapchat, Twitter.
right.
هي صارت إدارة للبزنس يعني أستاذ جميل.
أكيد أنا
بالفعل يعني الحين
أنا لينكد إن مثلا لينكد إن brought me a really very good business. LinkedIn, even for free, not the elite account, just the ordinary account. LinkedIn, I got introduced to many companies through LinkedIn. So it's mandatory for me to have a LinkedIn account. I have
هو صار مكتبك، يعني بدل أنت ما تروح تفتح مكتب وتدفع إيجار وتحط لك سكرتير وموظف هو صار الانستغرام والتويتر يغنيك عن هذا كله.
Right. By the way, and you mentioned that, I want to show you, I have a YouTube channel that really I promote my يعني services through YouTube channels. If you notice something like short videos, like reel or short videos about any company, people will get really attentive when they saw the videos on these channels, and most of them, by the way, for free. It's why didn't you have no excuse not to have a YouTube channel, for example. And the first thing when I heard about see, I went to my YouTube channel to show you something that really make a good reputation.
أيوة هو أستاذ جميل الكاستمر سيرفيس صارت through the Instagram and Snapchat.
عندكم أكثر شيء الانستغرام والسناب شات.
Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. الكاستمر سيرفيس through this application. You cannot manage يعني إذا شركة هي فاتحة من 10 سنوات from 10 years ما عندها انستغرام والتويتر والسناب شات, you cannot manage your company.
right.
لأن الحين خاص الطرق البديلة هذه القديمة التلفون وتسأل مش موجودة, ما عادت موجودة.
حتى الهوت لاين على التليفون اختفى مقابل أشياء ثانية أكثر بالكاستمر سيرفيس. Can you see on the screen what I present on the screen?
Yes.
What's that? It's
from Al Jazeera.
This is my I used to conduct training courses at Al Jazeera Training and Development. They are really professional in terms of this is me. I mean, working on. كانت تجربة رائعة يعني. فيها أكثر من العنصر. فإن شاء الله بصح لنا زيارة ونيجي عندكم نرجع نزور سوق واقف. فأنا
هذا من كم سنة دكتور أستاذ؟ هذه من كم سنة؟
أستاذي؟
من كم سنة هذه؟
هذا قبل كورونا يمكن بسنة شيء زي هيك يعني. كنت أنا من 2015 15 لحد 2018 تقريبا.
ما شاء الله.
بالجزيرة. فيعني
لو ندري كان سجلنا استاذ جميل، ما كنا نعرف.
ما كنا نعرف. شايف كيف؟
ما عندك انستغرام اكونت يمكن نوت اكتف.
ثانك يو على الثقة، بس إن شاء الله بكون لنا لقاءات بالمستقبل. بس أنا again زي ما تفضلتوا it's not acceptable to have any kind of service or business, training services, telecommunication, any kind of business without having يعني something like يعني زي ما انتم شايفين على الشاشة هذول التولز اللي بتستخدم ل promoting your service. Again, it's about psychology of the customer. You have to think about the customers. Just to introduce our topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get deep into the segmentation of the customers. What kind of customers are we dealing with? What are their needs? Organizational, institutions, end consumers. Sometimes who are the decision makers in these institutions? For example, you're dealing with big accounts with big banks. Yani QNBN are promoting their service to QNB. Who are the decision makers in this big institution? One of the biggest banks, or maybe in capital investment, QNB is the biggest bank in capital investment. How their structure, you have to do some doing our homework to know how to approach just such a big customer in the market. Who is the decision maker? What should we offer them to get this account, a big account such as مثلا QNB Bank? Again, customer segmentation is the core of consumer behavior. Think about the customers, how they make their decisions. So tomorrow we'll have an exercise doing kind of psychological segmentation of customers according to geographical areas, demographical or geo-demographical area. The most important thing in your industry is the behavioral one. We will focus on the behavioral one. For example, you might have different customers. We put the high usage. We segment customers according to the usage. Like for example, Zain as a telecommunication company, they know who are the heavy users. You might have somebody, even the individuals, somebody who has a cell phone number that only يعني زي ما بيقولوا برن على الناس وبسكر، ما بحكي، ما في استهلاك، لا ما في يعني مكالمات عنده. وفي another individual who is talking like 2 hours on the phone. They will know according to the heavy the usage that we have heavy users, medium or low. So we can segment customers, high potential, low potential, and even non-users. And we can also, according to the behavioral, we will segment them according to their loyalty to us. If I tell you what is the biggest customer you have, that they are big in their in their volume of usage, and also they have a big contract with you for years to come. Can you mention one of your biggest customers in the market? For example, Mr. Salah, are you in the field?
Yes.
I
can mention this, one of the small ones, but I cannot mention the big ones because this is classified.
Okay. Classified. Okay. Again, and I'm not asking for something, but
That's okay.
But you segment them. I mean, you know who.
Yeah,
are
of course. Of course, yes.
Can we apply the rule of 80-20, 20-80 rule, what we call it? There is a. Can you remind me what they call the 20-80 rule? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I forgot the name of the theory. But I don't think we can apply this in our case because we're not dependent on the usage of the connectivity.
Okay.
We actually our connectivity does not care how much the user is using it, whether it has 1 gig or 100 gig of data traveling on the cable. We care less, actually. We give them the cable, we give them the highway, and we ask them to use it. So whether they drive 1 car or 100 cars on the highway, it doesn't really matter us. Yeah, what we care about is the uptime of the connection, the availability of the connection. This is what we strive to deliver.
I get you. I remember the name. It's Pareto.
Oh yes, Pareto. You're right. Yeah, Pareto 80-20. Yeah.
So tomorrow we might emphasize on segmenting your market according to your variables. But again, are you dealing with, when you go to secure a contract with an account, do you study people who are the decision maker in the other organizations so you can convince them with your services? Do you do this homework?
Of course. We always try to profile the customer and profile the people, if I may say, like what this kind of decision maker likes to hear or to focus on. Maybe sometimes you get somebody who's after the business objectives. Sometimes you get a customer or an individual at the customer side who cares about the technology to use the latest rather than achieving the business objectives and so forth. And also you need to know the background of that person, so you don't speak too much of technology jargon if that person is a business guy. And if that person is a technology guy, you actually stress on the fact and speak terminology because they would like it to speak to them on the same level.
Excellent. You made my life easier, actually. We're going to emphasize on this and also how you can get this information. By the way, where do you get this information from? For example, you are going to make a deal with a major client, big client, as big as مثلا حكينا مثال QNB Bank. How can you know about those who are the decision makers and those backgrounds? From where will you get your information, sir?
I think this is background and knowledge of the industry. If the account manager is knowledgeable enough, he knows and he has connections where to sneak in a site or an account and nail down the decision makers or the people on different levels. Like maybe sometimes you need to start with the lowest level, convince the engineers that your service is good, and then move up to the middle management, and then later on hit the decision maker with the blessing of the lower levels or layers that you can close the deal at the end of the day.
Excellent. Even you do like a pull strategy, you go to the technician will ask for your company by name. They will even convince the higher management, because the technicians or the frontliners are convinced with the company. We call that pull strategy. Not but sometimes we bring it from above. We convince the higher management and they will force it into the technical people that you have to use this service from this company. Pull and push.
This happens as well.
Yeah. Excellent. But again, we're gonna dig deep into the psychology of the customers, and also we have to be kind of marketing intelligence into knowing more about our customers, because the name of the game into customer service is to know 3 C's. We call them 3 C's because the 3 elements starts with the C. The first one is, in order to succeed in securing a contract with the customer, is to know your company. If you do not know your company, if you're not expert in your company, what offers do you have, your competitive advantages, even the technical issues that you're having in your company, it will really have a big disadvantage. The other C is, what do you think the other C is? Know your company, then you have to know your
competitors.
Competitors, right? If you do not know your competitors, you cannot offer your customer something attractive, because
better.
Yeah, if you know your competitors. زي ما بيحكوا بالعربي اعرف خصمك، اعرف منافسك. حتى المنافس مش بس المباشر. It's not only the direct competitor, the indirect competitors. Like for example, when Pepsi compete with Coca-Cola, they sometimes do not go into the just into the field of the fizzy drinks, yani the Coke. They go into the water, because this is that's why maybe Pepsi has the Aquafina. They go into the industry of juice. They have another brand. I forgot their brand into juice. It's very famous one. They have tea also. They have energy drink. So they know that their customer, their competitor, have something of a portfolio and alternatives, not direct competitors, even indirect competitors. I know that in your case, you don't have such a case, because you're, in a way, you are the
only dark fiber provider.
Only provider. But again, people will tell you you don't have competitors, but you have something called we can sometimes call them indirect competitors, or sometimes we call them alternatives. Those are really have much higher threat on your company than the competitor. You know that sometimes the competitor will help you expand the market. Yani, for example, when in 1996, when Fastlink was the first mover into the Jordanian market, it paved the way for Mobilecom, which turned into Orange later, into the market. So sometimes the competitor will help you pave the way to the customers, introduce the concept, the industry, and make them familiar, so that when you come, you will have something ready. So, for example, if you have another second operator into Qatar market after you, they will find that you done a very good job, paving the way to them to introduce their services. So don't look at the competitor always as enemy. Sometimes the competitor will help you expand the market, but the threat comes not from the competitor in this case, but from what we call the substitute. I'll give you a funny example about that. There were two weight reduction medications, one called Reductil and one called Only Fit. They were competing to each other. And what happened in the market, that these two were hit by an alternative, or what we call substitute. What do you think was that substitute that reduces their business? What was the substitute? But if you guess. Did you hear about قص المعدة اللي هو تخفيف الوزن عن طريق الباي باس؟
عندكم دكتور مشهور خريص يا
I'm sorry؟
خريص اقول عندكم دكتور مشهور.
وهي
هاي قص بطون هالقطر كلهم يا دكتور.
تعرف انه عمل سياحة علاجية، حتى الدولة مبسوطة عليه، لانه عمل نوع من الميديكال توريزم into Jordan for the sake of getting weight reduction by اللي هو الباي باس تبع المعدة. But
عنده بطون هالقطر كلها في الثلاجة حطها يا أستاذ خريس. يعني ما تم ما تم واحد ما قص بطنه.
الناس they leave the medications. ليش اخذ ادويه اقعد 10 سنين انا واخذ ادويه عشان ينزل لي كم كيلو؟ ما اروح اعمل قص معده وانتهى الموضوع. هذا الاكزامبل again it might happen to you and other companies that sometimes you think that we have no competitors, but the shock comes from something we call substitution. It will end up يعني الeffect, the threat of substitution is much more bigger than the effect of the competitor. Because the competitor is working on the same field, but the substitute اللي هو البديل may shift all your customers to the new substitution. It's like when the pager happened. You know, ذكروا البيجر. You remember the pager?
Yes.
Yeah. What happened to the pager? Went out of business. Why? Because of another pager company?
Because of the mobile phones.
Mobile phone came in 95. Pager was in 94. 1 year, pager is obsolete. It's not the threat of competitors, another pager company. It is the threat of the substitute. When the cell phone came, mobile phone came to the market, made pager obsolete. So the threat of substitute is much, much intense, more than just the competitor. I always think about competitors as other companies that help us expand the market. And we cannot even complain about their services because we are doing the same thing, or more or less. But the alternative or the substitute is the biggest threat. We'll talk about also the customers, how they think when they try to approach our company. There are different styles of customers. Customers who think in an analytical way, figures, numbers, documentations, and some kind of customers, they think about being the first, just being the first. They don't care about numbers. They want to be the first who apply this new technology. So you approach them to tell them, listen, we at QNBN are going to provide you with a new technology called the 5G, for example, and you'll be the first customer in Qatar to use this technology. This is an emotional approach to this customer. Some customers will do that just for the sake being the first, being distinctive, while others will tell you, no, we have to sit down and we'll do some analytics, like how much, give me some documents, give us some proof, and so on. So there are different type of customers that are logical, and some customers that are really emotional. They go after something like emotional, being different, being leader, being number one, something not related to just figures and numbers. It's just being the first mover in the market. We'll talk also about different kind of decision makers into customers. Those are introvert, and the others that are extrovert. Introvert, they are good listeners, they are maybe some friendly, but extrovert, they force their opinion on you. They will tell you, listen, as the example that I gave you. Once I met with a customer, he brought me to his office, and he entered his office while I was sitting there waiting for him. And while he's standing, he negotiates the contract with me, and then he gave me the paper and tell me, this is not acceptable, go to your management and bring me another offer, better offer. He was really very aggressive negotiator. So we'll talk about these different and how we can deal with different styles, because the name of the game is how you can manage different behavioral styles of customers. It's not always about geography, or it's about demographic, the age of the education, or it's most likely about the psychographic and the behavior. I can get into their Facebook, their LinkedIn profile, and I will know that the manager of this company is he got his degree from the United States. He's into sports. His ego into having a Porsche car. He's I will know beforehand some intelligence about this customer from the social media, sometimes from other employees in the same company. I will try to gather some data from the other employees or former employees in this company about the customer I'm going to meet, in order to approach them the right approach to promote our services at QNBN, so that we end up having the contract and having signed. I don't know if this makes sense to you, knowing, studying the customer. This is the third C, by the way. We talked about knowing your company. The second C, what was the second C? Know your
competitor.
The third one, know your
customer
or client. By the way, all of them start with C: customer, client, and consumer. It depends what service do you provide. If you sell products, we call it consumer. Like Procter & Gamble, they call their customers consumers. But in our in banking, we call them clients. In your industries, we might call them customers, right? Or do you call them clients?
I like to call them subscribers, actually, in the telecom industry. But customers fits as well.
Because subscribers كمان منطبق عليهم consumers، لأنه هم بيستهلكوا، أو زي ما احنا بنقول consumer behavior. We don't say customer behavior. Consumer behavior إنه you will be أنت expert to think how they consume your service. إيش بيستخدموا الخدمة تبعتك لإيش؟ لأنه في sometimes الناس they assume أو بيكون prejudice، إنه بيفكروا الناس بيستخدموا زي ما I'll give you an example, Mr. Salah. Do you remember in 1996 when Fastlink introduced the cell phone? They thought people will use the cell phone to be connected with their on a business level، مع people اللي بالbusiness. This is their main objective, is to promote the cell phone as a tool to be connected with your people at the business level.
Work, yeah.
But if you remember, at that time, most of the people who bought the cell phones and subscribed to Fastlink, which is Zain right now, was the category of ordinary people who like to show off that they have cell phones, and sometimes you don't have something to be urgency to be connected, just talking on the phone to show off that you are really having the latest technology of cell phone.
Yes.
تتذكر لما كان يحط التليفون يجي يزور ناس يحط التليفون قدامهم انه والله انا معي سيل فون.
صحيح. Yeah, even some people, when the second operator came in, they used to carry two phones just to show that they have subscription with two operators.
Right. هذا كان, that was in 1999 when Mobilecom, which is Orange right now, came to the market.
Right. Yeah.
But just to, by the way, I want to mention something. I don't know if it relates to your company or to your market. What happened in Mobilecom was really amazing. They were preparing for a big campaign, and their slogan was a new dawn, al-fajr al-jadid, and they were to hit by this campaign was targeting Zain or fasting customers to switch to their service by telling them, we'll offer you better service at a lower price. But you know what happened? The same day that they launched their campaign, Zain did a counter campaign with better prices. So people with Zain did not switch to Orange or Mobilecom at that time. Do you know why? How did Zain know that Mobilecom are going to offer this and this?
Market intelligence.
Yes, it's a tool of market intelligence, but what tool did they use? How did they know? Something.
Not sure. Maybe they have connections inside Mobilecom.
Okay, that is really
maybe internal details and information.
Correct. It was really an insider. It was really an insider inside the competitor's company. This is illegal, by the way. It was an insider in the competitor's company. They give them the information before, and they knew that they are going to offer customers 9 piasters per minute, and the whole campaign was communicated to them from somebody inside the company. You call them spies, and they know the whole campaign. So it was really a disaster campaign. It's illegal, but it happened. We are not a perfect world. Sometimes we do some sort of in customer service, some sort of spying. Some of them are legal, and some are illegal. I don't encourage illegal things or even unethical way. You should be legal and ethical, but some of them are really, it's like in the gray area. What do you think about me in a company calling your company as a competitor, as if I am a customer, getting information? What do you think about that?
Social engineering.
make it ايش متلطف الاسم. Suppose I send an email to your company asking for a quotation. I want this and who is sending that is a competitor trying to gather some data from you.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah,
it happens. And always through emails, through your website, through your call center, through your, by doing mystery shoppers. Sometimes I go to the competitor as a mystery shopper, and sometimes I'll go to your booth in a convention and try to get some data about you from in the convention, and you didn't know that I am working with the competitor who is planning to enter your market, for example.
Right.
So you have to be aware of such moves. As I told you, some of them are really illegal and unethical, and we don't encourage such practices to have a spy or somebody insider tell you, because it's really bad behavior. But on the other hand, we have some legal tools of market intelligence to gather more information about the competitor and about the customer. the customer. Do your homework before you go and offer your services. Know their history, know their backgrounds. مين هم مجلس الإدارة عندهم؟ مين هو decision maker? Is it a family business? Is it a corporate? Who govern this company? Who influence the decision maker? Sometimes a technician is the advisor to the CEO, so he will be influencing that CEO decision into you signing the contract. So you have to go, as Mr. Salah said, to the technician, convince him first before you go and offer your services to the CEO or the company. We'll talk about this, inshallah, tomorrow in our session of know your customers, segment the market, and think about the behavioral and psychological segmentation of customers. We have to be psychologists to work in the customer service field.
Oh, yes.
Any remarks? Any question?
يعطيك العافية وما قصرت ما شاء الله عليك.
Allah يعافيك. تسلم. I hope tomorrow will be more interesting session, because when we talk about psychology, things become interesting because it's all about psychology. So psychographic drives all our customers' behavior. So hopefully tomorrow we'll talk about this.
هو احنا يعني بكره اخر يوم يا استاذ.
نعم سيدي، بكره اخر يوم. احنا جلستنا 3 ايام، بكره اخر يوم ان شاء الله.
ان شاء الله. شكرا يا استاذ.
بارك الله فيك، يعطيك العافيه.
لكم اي سؤال، اي ملاحظه before we leave؟
يعطيك العافيه.
شكرا بارك الله فيك، يعطيك العافيه.
الله يبارك فيك. شكرا كثير على مشاركتكم،
شكرا.
وان شاء الله نلتقي بكره على الساعه 9 نفس الموعد
باذن الله.
باذن الله. شكرا.